Hey guys, McJeffries here, and welcome back to the McJeffries Network on OpenTTD. Now today we start here at Banpool Bridge Central, which has actually been decorated now. I have gone through off camera and decorated all of the stations. They have now got platform, eye candy and things like that, and they all look very nice and very lovely. I've also removed these central platforms here so that we can have through trains, which is quite crucial for, not just for this episode in particular, but for future episodes. Because we're going to start turning this into a real serious 2-track main line. It's actually going to be very, very busy. It's not going to be as busy as our 4-track lines, because I still want to keep this nice and quick and fun to operate, but it is going to get busier than it is now. One other quick thing that I've done, which I want to show you guys before we move on, is over at Humphingwell Junction, which does definitely look like a junction station now. I've done a lot of tweaking. So it's got 2 road bridges going over it now, over the approaches. It's also got 2 little flyovers here to allow trains using this platform here to actually access the main northeastern main line. I suppose that's what it's called. And I've also built this loop, which utilises this new station over here. It's called Grindingwell Valley, but I think I might change that to... where is Grindingwell? There. Yeah. Grindingwell West, I think I'm going to call that, because it is west of Grindingwell. And then that links up over here, and I'm very tempted to actually build another line that comes off this way, but we're not doing that today. Today we're back all the way over here, and we're building a line off of this spur here. So let's get into it. Now I've already planned the line, as you can see, so it is just a case of joining up the dots, and I'm quite happy with how this line goes. There is going to be some hefty rebuilding work needed once we get to the end of this line. This end of things is actually quite simple. There aren't going to be many stations here either, which is quite good. Fewer stations, faster trains is what I think it was George De Silva said in the comments of the last episode. And you're half right. I wouldn't say you're 100% right, but you're half right. Obviously the speed of the train is relative to the type of train. So we've got to make sure we get the right time. Anyway, that's me waffling on. Tunnels is our crucial component of this as well, because obviously there's a lot of hills that we need to get through, and I think tunnelling is one of our best options. Just going to build a little bit of an embankment here. I'd say we could have a station precariously balanced on the top of the hill here above the town. If I do some rebuilding work here, we can even continue this embankment along like so. And we'll do something like that, and we'll do something like that, and we'll do something like that. Perfect. Right. Next stage is to level this bit out a little bit more and drop the line down, and then we start turning it again. Just in time to go over the bridge. Now again, there's going to be a little bit of a... One of the reasons why I said this line was fun is there's a lot of tight bends, which means not faster trains, which is why I said you're only half right. And this is one of those times, because we are going to have slow downs on these curves, because they are quite sharp bends. Obviously you don't want to be going around a sharp bend, even on a Pendolino or other tilting trains. You don't want to be going around a sharp bend at anything more than, I don't know, 60, 70 miles an hour. I mean, think what it's like in a fast car going around a sharp bend. It's going to be like that, but amplified on a train. So at least with a car you can kind of, I mean they camber the roads, which is a good place to start, but also the car itself leans into the suspension, and trains can do that, but there is a limit, and they are of course limited by the tracks that they run on as well. So it does get to the stage where it's a little bit uncomfortable. Why can't we excavate land at the other end of the tunnel? That's why we can't excavate land at the other end of the tunnel. There we are. Now these long tunnels are also very fun to play around with. You might have noticed this actually when I was doing the high speed. I'm quite a fan of tunnels in this game now. I used to hate them when you couldn't put signals in them, but now you can put signals in them, and on bridges of course. If you want to know how to do that, A lot of people have been asking about the timetabling, the way the timetabling works on here, and also what the overgrown tracks are. The Lieutenant Joker patch is my answer to those questions, and you can find a link to it in the description. I say that, it's a link to a video that Lieutenant Joker posted where he himself has a link to the patch. I think that was the fairest way of doing it, since he's put all the hard work in. It would be a bit cruel if I took all the credit. So it's the Lieutenant Joker patch. You can find it down in the description. Go check out his channel as well, because he does do some very good OpenTTD videos. I wouldn't say... I think it's interesting if you compare my videos to his, because I do things with a sort of a view on realism and a view on what I'm experiencing myself. Whereas Lieutenant Joker, he does a very European style of building, which is just as good, if not better. In fact, I would argue that his methods are sometimes better than mine. It's very interesting to see the differences. There are a lot of differences, but they're all good differences. You know, it is like comparing British railways to European railways. It's that kind of difference. But it's really cool. This, by the way, here is the only level crossing on this section of track. So I've picked a good place to do it. And I've also picked an interesting spot here, this little junction. Which, first of all, we're going to extend this platform. So see, it's an island platform. What are we missing? Benches. We don't have benches, and we don't have planters. So let's do that, and let's do that. Okay, this is going to be tricky, this section. Actually, do you know what I'm going to do? This station's not being used by anything at the moment, so I can do this, and then I can do this, and I can get rid of those, and probably those. Level all of this off. Pop this back in. What's the gap between the signals on this line? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So do that. And do that. Pop the station back in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and let's see, get rid of that, get rid of that, do that and that. Like so. There we are. And there we are. Awesome. Pop these signals back in. Right. Now here, we're going to have a line that comes like this, which is going to be non-electrified, obviously. And it's probably going to go as far as that. Maybe... Actually, hang on. Get rid of, whoops, that signal and that signal for this. So this can actually go one further over like that, and then on this side this is kind of like a mini version of what Fort Hampton Parkway was supposed to be like. Fort Hampton Parkway, it's a tricky one. I'm not a huge fan of it. I think it needs another look at, but I think I'll do that one off camera, because I kind of felt, even though I split the episode up into parts and uploaded it across a week, I still felt like I rushed it a little bit. I felt like I rushed myself, which ended up with a really poor result, which as I say, I'm not happy with. So I think it could do with another attempt. But as I say, I'll do that attempt off camera. Right. I'm also going to put some here. Let's do that. And there is a reason why I'm doing this, by the way. Okay, and then that one, that one there and there. There and there. So we're going to have some terminating platforms here too, which should be quite cool. Hopefully. Right, yeah, we'll have the underpasses here. This is mainly so that you can access the east to west platform. Platforms, there's more than one. 3, 4. I'll put that there actually, so I can put the benches down here. And I still need one more. What else have we not used? I suppose we could use an old shelter of some kind. There we are. Let's see, if I level all this off here like this, that should work. Okay, island platforms. So we want... we could use some signs here, I suppose. And then some CTAs. Some schedules. And some planters. It's not bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right, and this is all got to go down into 2 tracks. Maybe. Actually, yeah, no, sorry, that is fine. Okay, so that is that type, so is that one. The rest of these ones here are all going to be terminus, so they're, not that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that should be fine. And then also, over on this side, that needs to be a path signal, that needs to be a path signal. And then these two here need to be path signals. Although I've shot myself in the foot a little bit, given the fact that there's no room for waypoints. So I might have to extend this just by one more. Whoops. There we are. Old shelter, there we are. And then let's see. What have we got? I mean, I could use this at this end. Although not really. Maybe not. I mean, that's fine. That's not a problem, is it? Like that, and then we can do this. Okay, try again. That one like that one like that, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like so. And then over here is where we group it all up again. So let's see, can I get that right the way? Yes, I can. Okay. See, I think we need 2 lines coming off this, not just the one. So if I extend this out a little bit further, I can actually have 1 line here and 1 line here. Oops, not there. Here. And then this one needs to stretch all the way over. So again, a little bit more, like so. Like that. That one like that, that one like that. Screw it, we'll just do that like that. Something like that. As a junction. It's not the worst in the world. Right, now we need to get, whoops. funny zoom. We need to get these tracks down. There we are. And then this one is going to be the one that connects up over here. First of all, let's get rid of the oil refinery because we don't want that anymore. There's going to be a station on one side of this level crossing, probably on this side looking at it. It looks like a better candidate. We'll see. We will see. Now this is almost going to line up perfectly. See, if I do that like that, and then if I do that like that, that does line up perfectly. There we are. Take this up to 13. Right. Change you, get rid of you. Bingo. As you see, it's not the longest main line in the world, and that's fine. I'm happy with that. Am I not able to fit? No? There we are then. Right. Pair of waypoints. Probably level with these two. This is, whoops, BBC approach northeast. So far so good. That's going to come through here like this. That's going to come through like this. All the way along like this. Right, we need another set of waypoints. Here, I guess. And you are, yeah, Monfingfield approach southeast. Right, on here we're going to have a set of waypoints probably here. You are Monfingfield approach east, like so. This side you are approach west, like so. Get rid of that. Okay, so now we can have trains go this way. And when I said we needed to do some rebuilding, this is where I meant, because a lot of these platforms were actually designed for only 3 tiles long, which our trains are. But I think, depending on what we're going to end up running here, I think some of these do need to be a bit longer. Also, whoops, did not mean to use that one. I meant to use that one. Actually, screw it, long platform. And then we're going to get rid of that bit there. Move the schedules down to this end. So we're going to do these to 4 tiles long instead of 3. Wrong type. There we go. So that looks better already. And we're going to do all of these stations along here. Now these are pretty well laid out actually, so I don't think I need to lengthen them. Sorry, not lengthen them. Don't think I need to change them all that much because they are quite well laid out, quite well built. I don't feel like I'm using my words properly, but you get the idea. These are good stations. They're in good positions. Now here, Nunbury is going to need a huge upgrade. So, are there any trains in this depot? There are. Not anymore. Right. So we're going to take this right the way back like so. We are going to extend this platform by at least 2 more. I feel like that would work quite nicely. And on this side of things, let's go with one of these. And a shelter. Like that. And then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. you're going to dip in like that, and then you're going to go across like that, you're going to go across like that, and there's our new station. Laid out perfectly. Right, signal, signal, signal. We'll come back to the waypoints here in a little bit. And I need to put another signal there. Okay. So this can now accommodate the DMUs that we're using. So can this platform, so can this platform, so can this platform, and most definitely so can this platform. We now need to put in these waypoints. Like so. All the way across, leave that one out, and there like that. And then this one needs one, of course, and this one needs one, and then back to electrified. Okay. Yeah, that's no problem. I thought I'd hit a brick wall then, but no. Oh wait, maybe I have a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna have a problem with the straight across. Although the straight across is mainly going to be for electric trains, and you can't come down this way anyway, so that should be fine. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, so this is going to be Monfingfield P1. This one here is going to be P2. And then 3. P4. P5. And you get the idea, all of these are going to be, you know, P6, P7, P8, whoops, P6, P7, up here is P8, and this one is P9. Okay, and that's that all can't speak today. That's that all done and raring to go. Definitely can't speak today. What on earth is wrong with me? Just looking at this because I think I can take this one back. Maybe not. Something there that isn't quite right. I'll get back to that though. I'm sure I'll find out what it is off camera when things don't work like they're supposed to. Right. Now we need to get some trains set up. Now you might have noticed over at BBC... Oh, actually we need to put some more stations in first, don't we? What am I talking about? So down here is a good candidate. First of all, maybe, yeah, the station is going to go on this side after all. Might as well use an island platform. Let's be wheelchair accessible. So actually we just need single-sided for this. Like that. And then on the other side, keep it nice and simple. Right. Let's have a CTA, some benches, schedule, and a planter. I'll rename these off camera as well, because that's quite a strenuous thing too. Right, am I right in thinking that this is on a level slightly below? Or is this on the right, same level? It's on the same level. Okay. Don't particularly want it to be on the same level, so actually I'm not going to change that. I'm just going to do this instead, and we'll have a bridge coming down off of that. Yeah, that works quite nicely. This one's not so wheelchair friendly. you do get them from time to time. Especially, this is designed to look old. This line and these stations, even though it's a brand new line on this network, it's meant to be an old line. So there are going to be stations that are old and therefore not exactly wheelchair friendly. But you know, Jeffrey's logistics, we are trying to create a better future for everybody. More of our stations will become disabled accessible as and when needed. Right now though, this is old and archaic and is badly in need of upgrading. Right. So as you can see here, there's a bit of a backlog still from a previous attempt at timetabling. It didn't quite work out as planned. Problem is, some of these timetables, they sort of reset themselves. So this one's actually okay, it's behaving itself. But I've shown this before. Trains suddenly decide that they don't want to wait for I don't know, however long it needs to be, let's say 750 ticks. Instead they want to wait at a station for 23,000 ticks, or some other really random number, which doesn't do anyone any favours. That can get really frustrating, and that's what was happening here. So I did a little bit of a rejig, did some re-timetabling, moved some trains around, and so far, fingers crossed and touch wood, it's behaving itself. Now obviously I need to rename some of these platforms. So BBC P1. Oh yeah, that one's already taken, isn't it? So you're going to be, let's work backwards, shall we? So you're 7, this one, so you're going to be 8, you're going to be 9. So BBC P9. And then the 2 over here, this one here is going to be 11. You see I've got bay platforms pointing in all directions at this station. It's quite a big station. I didn't think it was going to be this big when I built it. But there you go. P10. And so you're P9, so this one here is going to be P8. Why do I feel like I've done this wrong? Oh no, I haven't. I haven't. So this one here, so you're going to be P7 still, you're going to be P6. P5 is actually going to be renamed to through north. Whoops. Let's call it through down, or down through. Oh my god. So I'm going to try and type fast. Right. And then P4. Yeah. Okay, P4 is going to be up through. There we go. P3 stays the same. Oh wait, no, you're not P3 now, are you? You're P5 now. This one that was P2 is now P4. The original P1 is now P3. And then this one here is BBC P2. And this one here is P1. Done. Right, let's get some trains running, shall we? I really like these trains. They're really... There's just something about them that's quite quirky. Capacity isn't great, but they're not actually being filled that high at capacity at the moment, so I can get away with it. Let's just remind myself quickly. I believe they are these ones. Yes. Class 158s, which actually I'm a big fan of as well. So you do that, and then here it's the WYPTE Metro livery. It's the one we're using. Right, now I believe P1 is vacant. Yes it is. Perfect. So that's what we're going to be using for this service. So P1 into there, P1 into there again, and then you're going to go to this depot that I've just built, and then here. Something else which I did off camera is I changed the settings so that now by default they go to the far end of the platform. And the reason I did that was I did some thinking the other day. Most trains in Britain now, they go to the end of the platform. Normally there's like a monitor there or a mirror or something that the driver uses to see if anyone's getting on or off before they close the doors. And they're always situated at strategic points along the platform. Most of those points are at the end of platforms. So I felt like for realism's sake we should do the same thing here. And make sure our trains actually travel to the end of platforms. I also feel like I've gone a bit... Actually no, I'll leave that like it is. I'm sure the town will grow up and fill that gap anyway. So yeah, our trains now go to the end of platforms. Hopefully, I mean, I don't know why anyone would have a problem with me doing that, really. It's realistic. You guys want realism. That's why most of you are watching this series. So, can't really say fairer than that, can you? Right, up here to Grentil City. I'd forgotten about this line, really. This was meant to be a series. This was the first of the branch lines coming off the main stations, because this line goes down to Rindingstone via the new terminal, which, by the way, I mentioned this before and I never actually showed you it in the end. First of all, I've put loads of eye candy down so you can see where the oil is. These are ship depots, which play into part of the idea of the docks. The main docks themselves are actually here. This is all like on a floating island type thing now. Some more eye candy over here. This is all for goods containers and food whenever we get that brought in. But the canal that I built, there's the south entrance, there's the central bit, and then the north entrance is here. So it just connects these two lakes together at the moment. But it will be extended in the future. I think, which way was it I was going to go? There was a direction I was going to go and I can't remember for the life of me now which way it was. But anyway, that's one bit. For those of you interested, the M4J Rail is going to use this section of track as well. It's going to go through Rindingstone and it's actually going to be part of this branch here too. And it's going to go all the way down here and it's going to link up with Nardham. But we weren't going that way, were we? We were going the other way. So let's do that. There's Sarthill. Right. Through all the way here, I think. Just looking at the distances, I think we could use another station in this little suburb area here. So I'm going to pop that in really quickly. You should be in a depot. Right, 3, 4, and 5. Ooh. Okay. In that case, it's only going to be 5 long in a single direction. There we are. Right, so after Sarthill, we then go here. Again, I'll rename this one off camera. And then down the hill here to Wanford. And then this service is probably going to run into the non-electrified bay up here. Okay, and you are going to be Nunbury P1. There we are. Right, so Nunbury P1, and there we go. Far end. Perfect. I'm one of those people that I'm starting to dislike. People who use the word perfect when they don't actually mean to say perfect. It's a misuse of the word, and I'm just as guilty of it as anyone else. So I'm going to try and stop using that word, because it does not mean what I'm using it as. So there's absolutely no point in me continuing to use it. Anyway, this here is going to be Nunbury Approach, where it's going to slow right down, ready to go into the terminus station. Right, good. Excellent. Time to do some speed checks. So you're going to be 15 into the station, of course. You're then going to be 30 coming out as far as here. Once you get to here, I think the maximum speed limit on this section of track is probably going to be somewhere between 45 and 50. So I think 50 is going to be a safe Actually, not for this one. 45 for this one, because it's all well and good coming through this tunnel, but at the end of this tunnel we've got the really sharp bend with a very steep drop afterwards. So after Gaunt Bridge Heights, then it will go up to, let's say, 60 to Menfingwell, and then through that tunnel is fine. So again, it'll probably be 60 here. Dentown Valley. Now this one can actually be max speed, and then we'll hit the approach here where we'll slow down to 30. We'll go into the platform, and that'll probably keep at 30. After we come out of Monfingfield, yeah, 30 as well, because again it's a really sharp bend to join up with the line there. Once we hit east here, I think at this stage, I think 60 again is probably a safe bet. At least for these two bits. After Sart Hill, I think we could actually start going top speed again. Yeah, until we get to Nunbury Approach, and then it's down to 30. And then 15. And then coming out it's going to be 30 until we hit here, and then it's all the way down to Sart Hill until we hit this one where it's 60, and here is 60. Oops, 60, 30 and 30 and 30. God, it really hurts my wrist doing this. I'm sort of leaning on the desk as I'm using the mouse, which is never going to be good for me. I really need to change my seating arrangements in my room. This is very uncomfortable. Anyway, yep, it's max speed there until we get to Dentown Valley, and then it's 60. And all of these are 60 until we get to Gaunt Bridge, which is there. And after Gaunt Bridge it's 45, and then it's 30, and then it's 15, and then it's 30 again, I assume, and then it's 15, and then it's 30. Right, stopping times. Default is 250, of course. All the way up here, it's going to be 750. And at Nunbury, it's going to be 750. Right, Banpool Bridge Central here is going to be 500. That one's 250, that's fine. This one's going to be 1250, which is also fine. Set you to autofill, so that's one done. Let's put you into a name, shall we? So you are ASD BBC2N, and you are 6 long. Perfect. Okay. Ungrouped. There you are. And then you go into M4J Rail link. Perfect. Gotta stop saying that. I said I would stop saying that, and all I've done since is say that word. Alright, you can see the cross countries are still mine at the moment. I might reallocate them to a separate franchise soon. Let's pin that there for a second, because I'm very, very tempted. So I've got... Let's work this out. So I believe I have 2 lots of trains that come through here. One goes off this way, and I added a second one which goes off this way up to Rindingston this way, I believe. I think I did that. Did I do that? Yes, I did do that. Okay. So because of that, the ones that stop at P2, I actually want to move over to this side. So P8 is spoken for, so P9 is going to be your new destination. Okay, check the speed limits. Yep, this one's good, so it's going to be this end where things need to change. U 30 and U 30. Autofill U. Okay, and then we're going to have another set of new trains. Now this one, so we've got the 158s with 3 cars at the moment. I'm actually going to use the 158 car. I assume this has the same livery. Yeah. Whew. That was a close escape. I thought for a second there I'd stuffed myself, but nope, we're good. Okay, so you notice this is only a 2-tile long train. But again, that's kind of done deliberately. So platform 1 is taken, so you're going to go to platform 2. Although I might swap those round, we'll have to see. And you're also going to use this new depot here that I built. So this is no loading. This is service. No loading. No unloading. Right. Now you're going to go via these 2. And then you're going to go through the tunnel via these 2. Via these 2. Down to here. Now obviously this time you're going to hit these 2. And then you're going to go up to here. And you're going to go this way. And then you can go via these 2. And then you're going to go via this station here. And this station here. And then down through here. So check the speed limit here, 30. Yeah, so you're going to hit 30. I think we're going to put another couple of waypoints. WJ approach southeast, because that's kind of the direction you're coming from. Right there and there. All good. And then at the moment, I think we're just going to go into the bay platform here. And then we will have another service that will go. Maybe we'll just even start here and go down this way and then back, and we'll have that as part of my franchise still. Okay, timetabling is going to be very similar. Let's pin that there for a second. 15, 30. I'm trying to remember this off by heart. 45, and then I think it was 60 and 60, wasn't it? Oh god, I've forgotten it already. 45, 60, yeah, it was 60, 60. I've got to trust myself. And then it's no speed limit. So we get to here where it's 30. And then 30. And then here is 30 again. And then once we get out of here, it's full speed all the way, I think. Didn't check that actually. And let's survey the line again just to make sure there's no sharp curves. That one obviously isn't. That one isn't. It's a bit of a chicane here, but I think our train can cope. So yeah, right the way up until this one here, and then it drops to 30, and then it drops to 15. Like so, and then it's 30 out, up to here, and then it's full speed all the way till we get to the west, and then it's 30, 30, and 30. And then here there's no speed limit until we get to Dentown, where it goes 60, and then 60, and then 45, and then 30, and then 15, and then 30, and then 15, and then 30. Right, times 250, except for this one, which is 1250, this one, which is 750, this one, which is 750, and this one, which is 500. Autofill. Close that, close that. Right, now I'm going to do something a little odd for this, because this is very regional. There's no guarantee that you'll have a 6 car or a 4 car, so I'm actually going to do both for both, if that makes sense. So the next thing I want to do is where are we? Grab one of these, put it in the WYPTE. Would help if I could remember the damn thing's name, wouldn't it? Right, and you are going to copy your orders from that. And then we're going to clone you and drag you onto the bottom, like so. Right, we're going to pin you, whoops, there. Let's make sure, first of all, what number we use, 672. So you're going to go in BBC to N. We also need to change this, so it's 4 to 6. Set a new one up. ASD BBC to WJ via M 426. The other BBC to WJ, this one, you're going to be via HJ. Okay. This ungrouped train needs to go into that. That then needs to go into that. And then we need to get another one of these. Uh, 158. Grab 2 of them for now. Do that. Pop you in the WYPT. What is WYPT? I'm going to have to look up what that stands for, actually. Maybe someone can tell me. And you're going to copy off of that train. Yeah. Good. And you are going to go into that one. Okay. So now we're going to clone. So what's that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that should be all of them done. Right, so these are both set to autofill, so we're going to set use off. I'm going to follow this one, and I'm going to end the episode here, guys. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and of course if you're enjoying the series. Drop some comments down below with ideas for future episodes. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you have already subscribed to the channel, thank you guys for your continued support. And choked. Wow. And until next time, I will see you soon.